you always just got to make sure that you're seen. You are seen, you are heard, you are loved. What's up, everybody? Hello. It's Tuesday for me. I think I'm gonna release this. Let's not knock over my stand, you know. He's such a booper. We're boopers. It's Tuesday for me. I had a latte. I got a latte at 2 p.m. So that's how my day's going. Just kidding, it's a good busy day. We're blessed to be busy, you know? But yeah, it's Tuesday, July 2nd, and I go home. So I was joking. I was like, do I say this stuff in the video? Do I not say this stuff? But I would hope you're okay with getting to know me, because I can't shut up once I start getting into the groove of things. Originally from Michigan. I've lived in Arizona 4.5 years now. August will be, or 3.5. August will be 4 years. So I try to make it home once a year if and when I'm able to, and I'm actually going home this weekend. So I'm getting everything prepped as you do for a weekend away. So I'm kind of doing all the work for Wednesday, well, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And of course, want to set up my friends for success with their YouTube class this week. And shout out La Grande Orange. Love your, I go there for everyone's gift. So if you've ever gotten a gift from me, it's probably from La Grande Orange, because it's a good excuse for me to also go there, you know? Got to get a coffee. Okay. Grab your blocks just in case. I think we're going to end up using it for our modified pyramid pose and stuff today. It just feels good to have the extra support. So if you don't have them, not a big deal. If you have them, go ahead and grab them here as well. And we're going to do just a quick flow to circle back to our eagle pose breakdown that we did last week, so Gomukhasana pose. So we'll add that to the end of class. And I don't typically teach peak poses per se, peak pose classes. So that means the instructor 9 times out of 10, that means that they have created the class to ensure that you're able to comfortably and safely get into a pose. But it's usually a pose that like you need to have the extra like stretches or the extra additions to class. So my plan with this, because I still want us to play with Gomukhasana, we're going to do some twist, some side lunges, definitely get into the legs a little bit, the hamstrings a little bit, but we're going to condense it. So I'm going to try my best to keep this about 30 minutes or less, just so you can explore how it feels to enter eagle pose after kind of getting into your body a little bit here too. And I think that's all. Start in a seat, and I'm going to use a block just for a seat. Don't feel as though you need to. You could do an easy seat, cross the ankles. So once you find the seat that you feel comfortable in to start your class, let's do just that. Let's start. So you'll start with shutting down the eyes. Start with finding your breath, finding a deeper connection to your breath this morning, this evening, this afternoon, wherever you find yourself taking this class. Feel the shoulders get a little bit heavier as you drop them away from your ears. And you might feel just a subtle tuck of your chin towards your chest, so you can elongate the back of your neck here, but you still want to reach up through the crown of your head so you have a nice, straight, lifted spine, bringing some integrity through the torso. Hands, I always say just let them fall where they feel best. Depending on the energy you brought into your space today, you might want to let the palms face up towards the ceiling so you can receive some new energy that you'll create from your practice, from the community around you. And if you are feeling more in a space to ground down your energy that you're creating this afternoon, this evening, this morning, go ahead and let your palms let your palms touch your thighs rather, and cultivate that grounding sensation. And of course, when you start to pay a deeper focus to your breath, can you make it a little bit deeper here? So deep breaths in and out through your nose. Finding a little pause at the top, so you're really filling up your belly, your sides, your chest. Feel your collarbone separate just slightly here as you find your capacity. And then as you exhale, start to exhale slowly. Exhale with intention, nice and heavy. And we got a couple more rounds just like that. You're going to breathe in with me, fill up, feel light. And we exhale, let it go. One more just like that. Big, full, steady breath in. Exhale, let it go. Good. Gently flutter the eyes open. Let the palms face the ceiling. Find a breath in. We reach up tall. And your exhale anchors your hands right back through heart center. Another one like that. You're going to find your reach, find your breath. Let the palms kiss up overhead. And exhale those hands right back through heart center. Now we'll do a little exercise I really like to do for my shoulders. So if you're anything like me, like myself, like others, I notice all the flipping time. The moment I feel tense, the moment I feel anxiety, I'm like so stuffed up in the shoulders and they're so close towards my ears. I'm like, April, drop them down, release. So we'll do a little breath to movement activity before we kind of get started with our flow state. And hopefully it helps the torso feel a little bit better. It helps the shoulders feel a little bit better. And maybe you can just release some shit here too. I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and then I'm just going to cue inhales and exhales because I have found that's the best way for you to actually connect with your inhales and your exhales here too. So it's going to look like this. You're going to find a breath in. You're going to act like you're really stressed, really upset, like something just really got you like all hot and bothered, and you got the shoulders close towards the ears. So you inhale, tense, tense, tense. And then when you exhale, we just let it go. Drop them down, let it get heavy, let yourself quite literally let something go. Drop it off of the torso with me, okay? We're gonna do about 4 rounds just like that. So first one here, big breath in, we squeeze, maybe you scrunch up the face a little bit. Exhale, let it go. Breath to movement with me, 3 rounds. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, let it go. 2 more just like that. Breath in, let it go. Last one like that. Big breath in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Let it go. Beautiful. Come back to your normal breath here. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Wonderful. We're going to come to a tabletop pose from there. So remove what you need to. Keep it close, of course. Tabletop pose. You're going to find this tabletop pose. We separate all 10 fingers, slightly spiral the fingertips towards the edges of the mat, the thumbs kind of directly towards the top of your mat. Feel the eyes of the elbows start to rotate forward here. Make sure your hips and your knees are in line with one another. You're going to untuck the toes, point all 10 toes towards the back of your space. Separating all 10 fingers, I quite literally want you to grip the mat so much so that your knuckles are coming off of the mat. The tips of your fingertips should be white. That's how much activation I want here. That's how much activation I want within downward facing dog, within any pose that is holding your weight, okay? So bring that activation into the fingertips. Start making some circles here with your shoulders. Warm up the wrist. Notice how the wrists feel. Try to anchor down the L's of your hands. They're kind of the first thing to lift up when we find movement, and it's our job to anchor that back down. So bring that space into your practice. Bring that grip into your practice. And as you start to encourage these circular motions with the shoulders, I want you to let your hips get heavy towards the mat here too. So you might even straighten the legs a little bit. Think a very lackadaisical up dog, maybe a cobra pose if the thighs are all the way on the mat. Then of course, bring the hips back in line with the knees. Find some cat-cows here. So we get into the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, shift the gaze. Exhale, push and round. 2 more just like that. Inhale, we drop. Exhale, you push. Last one. Inhale, drop the belly. We linger together. 3, 2, push. Find that cat pose. Eyes towards your thighs. Breathe in between your shoulder blades. 3, 2, and tabletop pose on 1. Nice work. Let's keep that left hand planted. Inhale, right hand high. Stack the shoulders. Open up. Matching this with your exhale, thread it down. So drop that right shoulder blade down. Keep your hips up nice and high. They stay in line with your knees. So we still got tabletop pose going on in the lower half, and we're sinking down our torso here. You're going to notice if you gently push your left hand into the mat, maybe the left fingertips, that will add a slight rotation to the torso, and it might add deeper depth for this thread if that's what you're looking for. We always got to think of our hips. So I always like to think of kind of bringing my hips back to center, so to speak. So they're probably leaning a lot towards the left. Can we bring them on back? And of course, unclench your jaw. Try to find a breath or two. And if you practice with a bind of any sort, maybe that left hand chases the right hip crease behind. Now we gently unwind if we do have that bind. Left hand pushes into the mat. Inhale, reach up with your right arm. Find that extension. And then exhale, anchors you back down through your tabletop pose. Left hand's on the move. Breathe in, reach high. Exhale, bring it down, thread it through. Set the foundation here, set the tone, so to speak. Bring the hips less towards the right, more towards center. Right fingertips can gently push into that ground beneath you, encouraging more of a rotation through the upper body. And notice if you can just give some love to that left shoulder blade as it gets heavier and heavier with each breath in and out. Taking your time to explore a bind if you did find one on that other side here too. And lastly, of course, shut down your eyes. Give me 2 big, beautiful breaths. Right hand's going to unwind if you had that bind. Push your right hand into the mat. Inhale, reach up with your left arm. Feel that new space. And then back to our tabletop pose. Wonderful job. Right foot, kick it to the back of your space, but lift it off the mat. So right toes, they point towards the ground. Drive your right heel towards the back of your space. Feel some length develop in your right leg. And think cat-cow. So we're going to do a cat-cow variation, of course, obviously just with the leg, but it's going to allow you to get into the spine a little bit. Hopefully, ideally, open up the shoulders here too. So as we find a breath in, we're kicking that wall behind us, that imaginary wall behind us. You're kicking it, you're breathing in. And as you exhale, can you let your right knee chase your nose? Try to build some flexion in your shoulders this way. Very good. As you inhale, kick it back, lengthen out your back body. Exhale, knee to your nose, round the spine. 2 more like that. Inhale, we kick, we lengthen out. Exhale, we tuck and round. Very nice. Last one. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tuck. Now listen here, a little change. Inhale, extend, right foot's floating, and then exhale, place the sole of your right foot down. Drive your right heel back, breathe into your calf. I sometimes call this like an all or nothing pose. Sometimes I'm sure people are here like, what are we doing, Ape? What are the sensations I'm looking for, right? And some people, if you walk a lot, if you run a lot, or if you are just athletic now or athletic in the past, you might have tight calves, so you might be feeling this pretty intensely. So if you're kind of the all or nothing or in between that space, if you're wanting more, I always encourage you to gently pulse your right heel towards the back of the space. See if that provides you some new sensations, new space to breathe into and explore. Your right ankle is going to cross your left, and I want your gaze to follow. Drive your right heel back, push into your right hand a little bit more. You might even feel that right shoulder come more towards the center of your space. Now drop your right knee just as is and tuck your right toes. Push your hips back towards your heels. Knees will stack. Glue the thighs together. Keep the knees stacking. Inhale, rise up, back of your mat. Arms go high. Try to catch opposite elbows if you're able to, and then pull those elbows nice and high. Breathe with me. Push your hips forward for 3, for 2. Gently unwind on 1. Place the hands down, uncross the knees. Let them stack towards one another. Right meets your left. Breath in, drop the belly, shift the gaze. Exhale, push and round. Now starting with that left side, neutralize the spine, extend that left foot towards the back of your space. It's floating and those toes are those toes are pointing towards the mat. Breath in, lengthen out. Exhale, left knee towards your nose. We got 3 more. We inhale. We exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, tuck. Last one, inhale, reach. Exhale, tuck. Now inhale, we reach. Exhale, we plant. Left foot comes to the mat. And go ahead and explore if you want to pulse up, pulse down, Or if you're okay just finding a connection and driving your left heel back, just bring some intention into those spaces. Breathe into the left leg. Left ankle is going to cross your right. Let your gaze follow. Push deeply into your left hand. As you find that lateral stretch, breathe into your left side with me. Open up the ribs, open up the lung. Let your left knee plant and tuck the toes. Push your hips back towards the heels. You breathe into your back body. Thighs are strong, knees are stacked. We inhale, we rise. We exhale, we catch opposite elbows. Inhale, find length. Try to gaze up, drive through your shins for 3, for 2. Unwind on 1. Beautiful job. Left knee comes back to meet your right. Now when you're ready, my friends, let's find a bear pose. So tuck the toes, lift the knees. Knees are hovering maybe 2 to 3 inches off the mat. I want everyone to think of your torso. Push into your hands a little bit more. Dome through the shoulders. Try to think of letting the collarbone shine through a little bit. So what helps me remember that is gazing forward just slightly. Let the wobbles happen. Let the shakes happen. They're building strength. You're here with me. 3, 2, down dog on 1. Extend the legs, hike the hips on back. All you, my friends, you know that. You move, you breathe, pedal the heels, sway the hips, shake out the head. Try to find some lift through your sides, some length through the shoulders. Think of your inner thighs. Try to spiral them up and away so they're going towards the back of your practice space. I want everyone to look over towards your left tricep. Now take that gaze towards the right. Now drop the gaze all the way down in between the ankles. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, heels left, toes right. Inhale brings you back to center. Exhale, heels right, toes left. Inhale brings you back towards center. Heels go high, high, high. Exhale, drop them down. Beautiful. Find your downward facing dog. Just give me a couple breaths. Maybe you invite some stillness in. And remember, you can always gaze up here at me as well. It might feel best to bend your knees so you can find more length through your back body. So we're always trying to lengthen out our spine in downward facing dog. And we're always trying to straighten our spine. So we don't want it to look like this where we're rounding. I see this so much in class. You don't want your downward facing dog to look like this. Look what happens the moment I bend my knees, push my chest back towards my thighs. I'd rather see this versus you fighting the good fight, which is not a good fight, versus you fighting the challenging fight of dropping your heels, which is going to bring that dome-like sensation back to your back. Lift up the heels slightly, bend your knees, push your chest back toward your thighs. And we're here for a breath in and breath out. Good. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Find a forward fold with me. Deeply bend your knees, sway around a little bit. Might shake out the head, unclench the jaw. And think tummy toward your thighs. So build that connection, find that compression. Now interlace the hands at the nape of your neck. Let your forearms kind of come towards your temples here a bit. So you're squeezing towards the temples. And the the elbows will drive down just slightly here too. Now I want you to deeply bend your right knee. Gaze up towards your left shoulder. Beautiful. Deeply bend that left knee. Bring that gaze up towards the right. Now come back towards center, unwind, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, find your folds. Now inhale, halfway lift, gaze forward. Exhale, back to your downward facing dog. Now from our downward facing dog, inhale, plank pose. Stay here as you exhale, realign, drive the heels back, lower the hips. L's of the hands, they're glued down. Shift your shoulders forward just an inch or two. And we lower nice and easy to our belly for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. No break in between. Bring the hands about 10 to 2. Separate the feet. Find your cobra poses. Inhale, you rise. Activate the glutes. Exhale, you lower. Couple more just like that. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we lower. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last round here. Breath in, reach up. Exhale, bring it down. Take a moment here. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Bring your elbows close towards your sides and just breathe with me. Drive the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Think tabletop pose. Right back to down dog. Let's get nice and cruisy. Make sure your blocks are towards the top of your mat. We're just going to use them for one. We're going to do this sequence just one time, right and left, but we'll use the blocks for them. So when you're ready, inhale, right foot up. Exhale in between the thumbs. Think runner's lunge, so you stay off your left knee. We're going to grab our blocks, and I want them on the highest setting. Let them frame your right foot. So with this runner's lunge and the added height that the blocks provide you, just move. Drive your right knee forward. Maybe you fold over, straightening right leg. I encourage you to try to gaze forward because that's going to quite literally remind your body to lengthen out the back body. Keep the hips nice and low. The moment we kind of tuck our chin towards our chest, we start rounding the spine, and we don't want that here, right? My reminders to you are just reminders to myself as well. Now think modified pyramid pose. Fold over, straightening right leg. Inhale, halfway lift with that new space from the blocks. And then exhale, fold it back down. Try to drive your right hip back just slightly. Ground down through your right big toe. Breathe into the outer lining of your right leg. Nice and active with your core. Nice and steady with your stance. We inhale to a high lunge crescent pose. Take your time. Find a breath in, sweep the arms up, let the palms face one another, drive your thumbs back. Front hip's gonna pull back slightly, invite a micro bend in your left knee. Nice and active through your legs, nice and lifted through that back left heel. Stay strong with me. Feel supported in your stance, feel confident in your structure, find your breath. Now exhale, let it go. Find a vinyasa if you'd like to. Keep the blocks near your mat. Right back to down dog. Breath in, breath out here. Left foot goes up, inhale. Exhale in between the thumbs. Bring those blocks back under your hands. Keep the hips low, keep the spine straight, and find your movement here. Remember to gaze forward. Just see how this feels for the hamstrings, the hip flexors. Activation you can bring into your ankles by driving your left knee forward and by pushing that left hip back. Now when you're ready, come into that modified pyramid pose, fold over, straightening left leg, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Shake out your head this time with me. Shake it left, shake it right. Now nice and active, nice and easy. Inhale, rise, high lunge, crescent pose. Stay here as you exhale, settle in, drive your left knee forward. Lengthen out your front body, lift up through the chest. Beautiful, exhale, release, let it go. High to low plank. Always know, so with your chaturangas, with your high to low plank, you start in a plank pose. Your exhale is your halfway lower. Little pause, you gotta hold, build that strength, and then inhale pulls you through. Kind of like a heartstring. A string is tugging on your heart space to allow your chest to lift up. And then back to down dog. Beautiful, my friends. Big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Now, when you're ready, we're going to inhale, right foot up towards the sky. And as you exhale, step in between the thumbs. We're coming right up to that high lunge crescent pose right away. So we're going to linger here for just a moment longer. Reach through your fingertips. Find some length through your sides. And then notice if you have the tendency to lean forward, right? We want to keep our shoulders in line with our hips. Good. Steady breath in. Exhale, take it to your right. So we twist to our right. Hips, of course, stay squared. We're fighting for that equal reach to our front hand, to our back hand, and we're trying to keep everything stacked. Crown of the head, the shoulders, the hips. Recommit to bending into your right knee if you need to. Let the thighs glue together. Now we're going to exalt this high lunge crescent pose. So your right hand is chasing your left leg, and you're going to gently let your gaze follow that left hand as it goes up overhead. Try to bring your right shoulder forward just slightly, so we're squaring the shoulders here a bit. Good. Now when you're ready, as you exhale, left hand comes to the mat, twisted runner's lunge, right hand high. Nice and steady with your breath. From our twisted runner's lunge, this brings you into a side plank pose. So stack your right foot on top of your left, or you can keep both feet on the mat here as well and focus on hiking your hips up with whichever variation you're finding. Really push through that bottom hand. Let it help you anchor. Find your breath for 3. For 2. Vinyasa on 1. Plank pose, let it go. Right back to that down dog. Beautiful. Give me a breath in, give me a breath out. Now when you're ready, left foot's on the move, left foot goes high. And exhale, we step in between the thumbs. Let a breath in, sweep you up, you rise, inhale. Exhale, recommit to that bend in your front knee. Palms still face one another here. Come back to your breath. If it's shallow, bring it back. Steady inhale, steady exhale. Very strong through your legs. Your focus is here. Your focus is clear. One more inhale, we prepare. Exhale, we twist left. Follow the hand behind you. Find your drishti towards the ground. Fight for that equal reach here, right? Back leg is very active, very strong, very sturdy. Gently exalt. Left hand chases your right leg. Right hand goes up nice and high. Let your gaze follow. We got this together, my friends, for 3. For 2, twisted runner's lunge on 1. Right hand plants. Left hand's nice and high. Stay here nice and steady, big steady breath. Find that rotation through the torso. From your twisted runner's lunge, just bring it into that side plank on our right side. Maybe left foot stacks, or maybe both feet stay on the ground. So for this instance, the inner arch of your left foot is on the ground, the outer edge blade of the right foot's on the ground. Try to keep your shoulder in line with your wrist. Encourage the chest to come through, encourage the hips to go high for 3. For 2, plank pose on 1 through your vinyasa, high to low. And back to downward facing dog. Stay here with me. I see you. Find your breath. We're about to come out of this. Breath in. Let it go. One more in, down dog. Breath in. Let it go. Inhale the heels high. Exhale, knees will land. Think tabletop pose, untuck the toes. Woo, we got it, my friends. I want to do one more thing here for our shoulders and our triceps, and then we're going to enter eagle pose, and we'll cool it down here too. But nice job. So I'm just going to face, you're going to see my back here per se, just so you can see the stretch I want you to get into, because I think it feels so good. Right hand's just going to come to your mid-back, however you get it there, wherever it lands. It doesn't matter because your left hand's about to help us out. Left hand, find your right elbow. Kind of like how we started class where you pulled up a little bit. I want you to pull up, find length, and then exhale, find that lean towards the left side. I'm not even going to lie, you guys. I always say in my in-person classes too, because there's so much going on when you're teaching, right, that you forget some stuff. I've never been good with rights and lefts. Don't care, don't know why, just never been good. But obviously my right leg's my tatted leg, so in instances like this, when I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, April, your right leg is tatted. You're not leaning that way, so you're leaning towards your left. Is that pathetic as a 30-year-old? I don't know. And now you know I'm 30. Okay, bring your arms out to a T. Roll out the wrist. I should not have coffee at 2 p.m. Left hand comes to the back. Right hand, left elbow. We find that lift, and then we find that lean. Match it with an exhale. Now apparently I got nothing to say because now I'm just being quiet. It's fine. Good. Come back towards center. This time, make the arms go out to a T, roll out the wrist, and then inhale the hands high. 3 rounds. Exhale, bend and cactus. Good. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend. One more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend. Hold with me. 3, 2. Hands, heart center on 1. Nice job. We're getting right to it, right to the nitty gritty. Stand tall. The nitty gritty as an eagle pose. And sorry, I feel like I realized last time I didn't have my stuff set up, so you couldn't really see me when I was standing up the whole way, but you know, we're all just human here. Hands on the hips. Make some circles with the hippies. I love the guys who take my class, don't get me wrong, and I'm always encouraging more guys. I mean, girl power, I always want the girls here too, but I like crack up sometimes when I see guys do this. They're like, what do you mean move my hips? I don't know what that means. And us ladies are like, yes, move the hippies. Okay, we're ready. We're gonna start with eagle with our right foot. So right knee comes up towards the chest, and then cross your right thigh over your left. I'm not gonna go through all the details because you could watch the other video if you want to, but find the eagle variation with a lower half, descend, sink it down, remember. Right hip's gotta pull back. Arms go out to a T, find some space here first. Right elbow comes under your left. I want you to commit to either looking towards your right or towards your left side, and your gaze does not leave. Drive your elbows up. Keep fighting to bring everything back towards center, right? So pulling that right hip back, knees come back towards center, elbows lift, feel your shoulders separate. Nice and steady, you guys. You got this. We're here together. 5, 4, sink lower. 3, 2, unwind, inhale, reach high. And as we switch it out, just exhale, forward fold for a second. Let it go. And now nice and easy, bring it up, breath in, reach high, push your hips forward. Right back through heart center. Like it's nothing, we got one more side. Left side, let's do it. Left thigh on the right. Remember, you gotta glue those thighs together, right? Sink the hips back down, pull your left hip back. Arms out to a T, find some space here first. And then left elbow comes under the right. Commit to which side you're looking at. Accept the wobbles, we're all in them, right? Drive your elbows up, sink the booty. Come back to your breath. You are more than capable of being here. You're already here, stick with it. Here for 5. Active through your core. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Unwind, nice work, big breath in. Exhale, hinge and fold, let it go. Now making sure you're back to the top of your mat if you have left that space. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, think tabletop pose. From tabletop pose, I'm just gonna get us into a pigeon, my friends. A twist on our back, a happy baby. And we did it, we got it good. So from tabletop pose, just bring the right shin forward. Actually, I shouldn't, well, bring your right shin forward. Of course, if you prefer it on your back, just come to your back too. No more, no less, no harm, no foul. Less narratives to what is, and just be in your space, right? So find your pigeon pose, sink it down. If you have your blocks, it could feel nice to just bring your blocks on its lowest setting, or on their lowest setting rather, and just bring your forearms to rest down. If you want some more depth from your pigeon pose, one of my favorite things to do, I tuck my back left toes, or the toes of the extended leg, lift up the knee a little bit, and then quite literally feel yourself pull that knee back. And then drop the knee back down, right? You should feel your right hip kind of pull back with it, but also you should feel some more depth as it gets closer towards the ground. Back to what I wanted to say. I'm trying to stop saying, just do this, just do that, because that means it's like, oh, just do it, that's easy. Like, easy is a different definition for every person, especially in your yoga practice. So if you hear someone say, just do this, just do that, hopefully you give them some grace, and you give yourself some grace, knowing that we all have our own challenges, we all have our good stuff, we all have our bad stuff, but just do this doesn't mean it should be easy for everyone, right? It's just get into a space that is accommodating to you, I guess I could say here as well. Just a couple more breaths here. Now gently place your hands back under the shoulders. They can stay on the blocks as well if you have your blocks here too. And we're just switching our sides out. Shift some weight into that right hip. Extend, bring that left shin forward. And then kick your right leg on back. Settle into your pigeon pose on your left side. If you enjoyed the deeper sensation of tucking the toes, you'll tuck the toes of the extended leg, lift up the knee slightly, untuck the toes, place the leg and the knee back down. And clench your jaw, shake out the head a little bit, invite some of the stillness back into your space. Might shut down your eyes for our last few breaths. Good, gently bring it up. Go ahead and remove the blocks this time. Shift some weight into that left hip, extend the legs on forward. A little core work to get us to our back. I'm doing it with you guys, don't worry, I don't like it either, but let's do it, because why not? Extend the legs, dorsiflexion, so flex the toes back towards your shin. A little bend in the knees might help you feel a little bit more, I don't know, it makes my knees not feel as bad when I invite a little bend in my knees, so give yourself some space here, less locking out the joints, you could say. Arms go up high and then they come forward. So let the palms face the shins, shins are facing the palms, and then rotate, let the palms face one another. Nice and lifted through your chest, nice and lifted through your spine. Your goal is to go as slow as you possibly can, finding that curve in the back body, activating the upper abdominals, lower abs, all the goodness here as we lower to our mat, nice and strong. You got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. Take a breath. Hands can come on the belly. Feel yourself fill up your space here. When you're ready, right knee will come inside the chest. Give it a little hug. And then set up for an easy twist towards your left. Right knee is going to go left. Extend your right arm and go ahead and gaze over towards your right arm. Right lung, fill it up, breathe it in. Try to bring a heaviness to your right shoulder blade. Roll that shoulder away from your ears. Good. Come on back towards center. Lie neutral here for a moment. And then, of course, when you're ready, left knee is going to come inside the chest. Give it a little squeeze here for a second. And then enter your twist. Match it with your exhale. As you exhale, left knee goes over towards the right. We're going to gaze over that extended left arm this time. Notice if you can find a heaviness through the shoulders as you encourage the hips to stack here just slightly. I always like to allow my opposite hand to rest just gently on top of my thigh. So when I do find those inhales, I can still feel that anchoring sensation through the lower half. We bring it back towards center. And just find a quick happy baby pose. So hands can grab the outer edge blades of your feet. You can always quite literally just grab onto the shins here too, drive the knees down. Whatever you have the space for is plenty. Glue down your tailbone here, so find that new developed length in your back body. And then maybe you sway, maybe you stay still. And when you're ready to release from your happy baby, maybe you find a quick little legs up the wall, point and flex.
If you want to bring this into, and I'll show you up here as well, if you want to bring this into like a shoulder stance or a plow pose, you can always hike the hips up, let your hands grab kind of where the hip bones are, right? Where your back pockets would be is where your hands would land. And then of course, legs up the wall can turn into a shoulder stance. You can always let the knees come towards the temples here as well. Find a little introverted space. But I'm going to give you a good 10 seconds to make it to your last and final resting pose, our Savasana pose here. So gently, slowly wrap up where you are and bring it back down. Extend the legs, the arms, take up some space, add some props, remove some props. Shut down your eyes. Feel satisfied with yourself, with your practice, with the action of showing up, of pressing play, of rolling out your mat. You're at home. No one's making you do this. You're not paying for a class, so once you like pay for a class, you have more of like a reason to go because your money's now on the line. Like none of that's happening here. It's just you, your discipline, your love for your practice, your love for yourself. And which I'm still wrapping my head around, your love for my classes, which is why you're taking them. Like it's a beautiful thing to settle into as we come to our last and our final resting pose, our Savasana pose, right? So rest in knowing that, rest in gratitude here. Let's find one more breath, big breath in. Hold at the top for 3, for 2. Big sigh, let it out. Find your Savasana pose. Allow yourself to rest here for as long as you can. Sometimes even when I'm practicing online and I want to stay, I might yell at Alexa to like set a timer or something. So always kind of get creative if you need to, if you want some more time here. Like I said, rest in the work you've done. Rest in the gratitude for this practice, for your breath, for your body, for every single moment, every single person, every single place that brought you right here, right now. It's where you should be. It's where you are immersing into. And keep enjoying this journey. Keep enjoying your practice. Whatever it looks like, whatever it doesn't look like, whatever you think should happen, whatever you think shouldn't happen. Be open to the experience. Be open to the evolution that is brought to you by this space, by your practice. And as always, I cannot thank you enough for supporting myself, for joining our community, for coming back to support these classes and to flow with me. It completely blows my mind, and I don't know if it will never not blow my mind, but yeah, insane gratitude for the chance to share this practice with you all. So I hope you had a great flow, and I will see you next week. Peace.